Hi, it's Karen here. Thanks for joining me and welcome along to my YouTube channel. Today's video is just a quick video showing you how I made my card for the current Just Add Ink challenge, which is a colour challenge. Now the colours are Stampin' Up colours. I think they're Flirty Flamingo, Tempting Turquoise and Smoky Slate. I don't have those colours, so I came up with the closest matches I could find, which were Worn Lipstick and Peacock Feathers in Distress Inks. And I did actually have a sheet of Smoky Slate cardstock, so I used that for my card base and sentiment. Now you would have seen a cord dangling at the beginning of that video. My apologies, I had my iPhone on charge and didn't realise that the cord was dangling in the shop, so I corrected that and I'm now into blending the inks. So I've got a panel of Bristol Smooth cardstock and I started out blending some Worn Lipstick ink along the bottom of the panel, and I angled it. I didn't want it to finish in a straight line, so I've angled it up towards the right. And then I took the Peacock Feathers Distress Ink and blended from the other end down to the centre. I went back over the join line between the two colours quite a few times trying to get a smooth blend, and I think it came out not too bad in the end, considering that pink and blue don't naturally go together. So once I'd finished with the ink blending, I then took a bit of water and spritzed some water on the panel to give it a bit of interest, and then soaked that up with a paper towel. So you can see me here with the water bottle, spritzing it on my hand and flicking it onto the sponged panel. I left it sitting there for a few seconds before taking the paper towel and resting it on the top to soak up the water, and it leaves the beautiful areas where the water has whipped away and adds some more interest to the panel. Okay, so moving on to the next step, I check that the panel is completely dry before doing my embossing by actually tipping on a little bit of white embossing powder and seeing if anything sticks. Once I'm sure that it's completely dry, I'll then put the panel in my MISTI and get the Mondo Hydrangea image from Alan Hudson and stamp that in the left hand corner. So I prepare the panel with an anti-static powder tool and then ink up the image in Versamark ink before embossing it with white embossing powder. Such a beautiful big image, and it absolutely shines when it's white embossed, so it doesn't take much to make this look pretty cool. So I've inked it up with the Versamark ink, and I'm now going to stamp it onto the sponged panel. It's quite a big image, so I make sure I press down quite solidly on the MISTI lid, and then I get my white embossing powder and cover the image with the powder. Once I'm happy with the coverage, I then heat up my heat gun and set that powder, and it leaves a beautiful big hydrangea image on that pink and blue sponged panel. So I set the panel aside and die cut a painted hello sentiment from Simon Says Stamp out of some Smoky Slate cardstock. And then I decided I wanted to trim down my panel and have the Smoky Slate card base showing on either side. So I measured off a bit and went away and trimmed down the panel and then brought it back, and as you can see I have got a strip of grey down either side of the main panel, which draws your eye into that ink blended and white embossed hydrangea. So now I'm just adhering some fun foam to the back of that ink blended panel to give it a bit of lift, raise it up off the card base a bit, and then I will adhere that to the card base, and all that is left at that point is to adhere the sentiment. So I'm using some liquid glue to put that on to the smoky slate card base, turning it round. I like to actually look at it upside down and right side up to check that it's on straight because my eyes aren't that great. I've pressed that down with my hands to try and get it to stick a little better at the edges. And now I'm just going to get my clear sparkle pen, put a bit of sparkle on that hello word just to give it a bit of a lift, and that point I will get my spray adhesive, take it away to the other side of the room where I've got a cardboard box set up, and give it a squirt with the adhesive. It saves fiddling around, putting little dots of glue on the back of it, and those little letters is quite messy and fiddly to get some glue on there. So I'm back now with a very sticky hello, and I will adhere that to the card base. This particular adhesive actually gives you a little bit of wriggle room, so I can make sure that it's straight before I press it down firmly. And that is my card. So thanks very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.